So I've seen about a million stitches of that guy saying that women are going to have to accept, not having a good man or whatever he said. And it got me to thinking of how we got here. Like, how did we get to this point? And I think I figured it out. So I'm an 80s baby, 90s kid. And one thing that I remember about the 90s is that one of the worst insults you could throw at a woman was that she would never get a man. Like, women really took that personally. They started dating whoever would date them. They started lowering their standards because they were like, well, maybe I'm being too picky. Maybe I need to stop asking for so much. Men still couldn't reach that level. So then they started saying, well, what's wrong? What's going on with me? I don't know what's wrong. And then you know what they did? They started going to therapy. And decades later, that's why we see where this shift is taking place. Women are now at a point of contentment that men cannot reach because women have done the work. Women have invested in themselves. Women go to support groups. They find hobbies and interests outside of romantic love, things that make them feel good and give them happiness and a sense of peace without the need of another person. Men haven't done that. Y'all are still stuck in a time warp where you think you can leverage romance and marriage and shit over a woman. You can't. And I know a lot of men say, well, woman is lying if she's saying she don't want a man. Women never said they didn't want a man. Women said they're not going to settle for just any old man. And they're serious and they're standing on that, which is why y'all are getting fearful. The reason all this content is coming out, stuff like this, and the reason you're seeing this influx of hostility with these men and women is because men feel themselves losing the grasp that they've had on women. They've always been able to get one because of the way the social norms are set up. So while they're sitting around listening to the OG, that old person on the block that used to be cool, that has no family, no friends, no children that like him to speak of, we were listening to our grandmothers who were telling us what not to accept because they endured so much abuse at the hands of our grandfathers. But keep in mind that these men have been romanticizing the relationships that their grandparents had because it gave the grandfather all the leeway to do whatever he wanted. The woman was docile and meek and didn't complain. That's what they want. And in that, they're saying they don't want to elevate because one thing y'all aren't invested in is therapy. And one thing that I know that I've observed about these men that think like this, they only place value in the fact that they're a man. And if they have a job, they place value in that. That's not nearly enough. They think that should be enough to get them a woman. But then you get the woman and you want her to go 50-50 with you, but you want to talk about being a leader. How can you lead if you need her assistance? It makes no sense. Women have been doing things 100% of the time anyway. And if you add that with going to therapy and taking the advice of the elders who taught them to want better, y'all are in two fundamentally different positions. And when men become fearful, they start to project their fears onto who they think is weaker, which is us. And we all know that's not true. But that's why they tell you, you want a man. That's why they tell you, yeah, y'all not going to have no kids. You ain't going to have no legacy. They fear those things. They know that they need a woman to create a legacy. Men fear death because they're egotistical. They want to live on through their bloodline. And if y'all refuse to give them one, then they get frantic like these men are doing. They start saying little stuff like this. They would rather convince every single woman that she should lower her standards. Like, the bar's already in hell, so I don't know how much further it can go. But she should lower her standards to accept whatever type of man just to keep from being alone because that's what they fear. If you look at these hospitals and these statistics, actually, the nurses will tell you that the people who die alone are men. It's not women dying alone. Women have people around them when they die because women invest in other relationships. Women have siblings. They have friends. They have godkids, nieces and nephews. They have people that love them and they don't only find value in romantic love. Y'all got to stop doing that because then you're going to end up dying alone because that's the only thing you've placed value in. And I'm not even saying this to drag me. I know I don't like to do that, but I'm listening to what the men are saying and I'm listening to what the women are saying. And y'all are on two different pages. And what I'm seeing is the difference is women have started doing work that men haven't. So for those of you who are in this position thinking like this man, y'all need to go to therapy. Start investing in yourself. You don't have to date anybody right now. You ain't got to fuck on nobody right now. Go to therapy and work on yourself. Get to a point where you see more in yourself than the fact that you're a man. There should be more to you than that you value about yourself, because that's where women are. And that's why women are in a position to not accept the okie dokie with y'all. They're not just going to take you. He's telling these women, you're going to have to accept this. Why would a woman accept a man that isn't good when she can just be alone and be happy? People are they're at a point of self-contentment that y'all don't understand because y'all haven't done the work. But when you do, you'll get it. And I hope y'all do it.